ॐ गणानां त्वा गणपतिगुं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पदानश्चन्वन्नोदिभिः सीदसादनम् ॐ श्रीमहागणपतये नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करं सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे श्रीगुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ श्री शंकराचार्य स्वामिने नमः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ॐ।
नमस्ते महोदय। साई लक्ष्मी भगिनी।
नमस्ते महोदय।
नमस्ते।
महाभूतान्यहङ्कारः बुद्धिरव्यक्तमेव च इन्द्रियाणि दशैकञ्च पञ्चचेन्द्रियगोचराः।
गुड।
विजयलक्ष्मी भगिनी।
नमस्ते महोदय।
नमस्ते।
इच्छा द्वेषः सुखं दुःखं इच्छा देशः सुखं दुःखं संकादच्छेदनाधृतिः येदक्षेत्रं समासेन सविकारमुदाहृतम्।
गुड।
शरद चवन महोदय।
अमिनत्वम् अमानित्वम् अजिद्भित्वम् अहिंसा क्षान्तिरार्जवम् आचार्योपासनं शौचं स्थैर्यमात्मानि विनिग्रहः।
Okay, you have to make some corrections.
Yes.
Okay, maybe once you start following chanting, it great. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. One more person, the same shloka, please.
भानुरेखा भगिनी।
नमस्ते महोदय।
नमस्ते।
अमानित्वमदम्बित्वम् अहिंसा शान्तिरार्जवम् आचार्योपासनं शौचं स्थैर्यमात्मविनिग्रहः।
Shanti ensure that you are going to emphasize on ksha. Sometimes we tend to pronounce it as shanti.
Okay,
in case
shanti.
we follow regional dialects. No, suppose if somebody is following a Tamil pustakam, they will tend to say shanti, ikshanti. Ksha. Okay, yeah.
Shanti.
Correct. Shama, kshanti, like that. Next.
लक्ष्मी बीवी भगिनी।
इन्द्रियार्थेषु वैराग्यम् अनहङ्कार एव च जन्म मृत्यु जरा व्याधि दुःख दोषानुदर्शनम्।
Good.
राजेश्वरी शिवशंकर भगिनी।
नमस्ते महोदय।
नमस्ते।
आसक्तिरनभिष्वङ्गः पुत्रधारा गृहादिषु नित्यं च समचित्तत्वम् इष्टानिष्टोपपत्तिषु।
Good. It is not putra dara, it is putra dara griha adishu. Okay. You chanted as dara. No, it is not dara, dara.
Should I repeat it, sir? Or?
You can repeat once, no problem.
Okay. Asaktiranabhishvangah putradara grihadishu nityancha samachittatvam ishtanishtopapatishu.
Good.
उषा श्रीनिवासन भगिनी।
नमस्ते महोदय। मयि चानन्य योगेन भक्तिरव्यभिचारिणी विविक्तदेशसेवित्वम् अरतिर्जन संसदि।
Good.
शीला शिंदे भगिनी।
अध्यात्म ज्ञान
नित्यत्वं तत्त्वज्ञानार्थदर्शनम् एतज्ज्ञानमिति प्रोक्तम् अज्ञानै यदतोऽन्यथा.
काश्मीरा भगिनी.
Yes, sir.
You see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
ज्ञेयैयतत् प्रवक्ष्यामि यज्ञात्वामृतमश्नुते अनादिमत्परं ब्रह्मं न सतन्नातदुच्यते.
It is Nyayam Yat Tat. I heard it Yatat. Yat Tat. Yat Tat. And the second,
ज्ञेयैयतत् प्रवक्ष्यामि. Yes, sir.
yeah, it's correct. And second line, you said Brahmam. It is Brahma. Anadimat Param Brahma. That's it. Not Brahmam.
Okay.
Can you chant?
Anadimat. Yes, sir. Nyayayattat pravakshami yajñātvāmritamashnuते anadimat param brahma nasattannāsaduchyate.
Sorry, I realized that we had not taken the sloka last week.
We have not done, sir. I thought maybe I was absent.
Sorry, I
That
thought
is.
we had done that. I am sorry. Now only I realized. Yeah. Sorry. We'll go with the sloka again. Nyeyai yattat pravakshyami yajñātvāmrutamashnute.
ज्ञेयैयत्तत् प्रवक्ष्यामि यज्ञात्वामृतमश्नुते ज्ञेयैयत्तत् प्रवक्ष्यामि यज्ञात्वामृतमश्नुते.
Good. Next.
राजलक्ष्मी भगिनी.
Anadimat param brahma.
अनादिमत् परं ब्रह्म अनादिमत् परं ब्रह्म
न सत्तन्नासदुच्यते.
न सत्तन्नासदुच्यते न सत्तन्नासदुच्यते.
Anadimat param brahma न सत्तन्नासदुच्यते.
अनादिमत् परं ब्रह्म न सत्तन्नासदुच्यते अनादिमत् परं ब्रह्म न सत्तन्नासदुच्यते.
Good. Next.
कृष्ण पावनी भगिनी.
Nyeyai yattat pravakshyami yajñātvāmrutamashnute.
ज्ञेयैयत्तत् प्रवक्ष्यामि यज्ञात्वामृतमश्नुते ज्ञेयैयत्तत् प्रवक्ष्यामि यज्ञात्वामृतमश्नुते.
Good. Next.
गुरुमूर्ति महोदय.
Anadimat param brahma न सत्तन्नासदुच्यते.
अनादिमत् परं ब्रह्म न सत्तन्नासदृश्यते अनादिमत् परं ब्रह्म न सत्तन्नासदुच्यते.
Saduchyate. Saduchyate.
सदुच्यते.
Good.
अनादिमत् परं ब्रह्म न सत्तन्नासदुच्यते.
Good. Next.
अनुपमा भट्ट भगिनी.
Nyeyai yattat pravakshyami yajñātvāmrutamashnute anadimat param brahma न सत्तन्नासदुच्यते.
ज्ञेयैयत्तत् प्रवक्ष्यामि यज्ञात्वामृतमश्नुते अनादिमत्परं ब्रह्म न सत्तन्नासदुच्यते.
Good. Next.
Mrinalini Gopalan Bhagini.
Full shloka once.
Okay, sir. ये यत्तत् प्रवक्ष्यामि यज्ञात्वामृतमश्नुते अनादिमत्परं ब्रह्म न सत्तन्नासदुच्यते.
Good. Next.
Vijayalakshmi Bhagini.
ज्ञेयै यत्तत् प्रवक्ष्यामि यज्ञात्वामृतमश्नुते अनादिमत्परं ब्रह्म न सत्तन्नासदुच्यते.
Good. Next.
Lalita Bhagini.
ज्ञेयै यत्तत् प्रवक्ष्यामि यज्ञात्वामृतमश्नुते अनादिमत्परं ब्रह्म न सत्तन्नासदुच्यते.
Good. Next.
Sai Lakshmi Bhagini.
ज्ञेयै यत्तत् प्रवक्ष्यामि यज्ञात्वामृतमश्नुते अनादिमत्परं ब्रह्म न सत्तन्नासदुच्यते.
Good. Next.
Usha Srinivasan Bhagini.
ज्ञेयै यत्तत् प्रवक्ष्यामि यज्ञात्वामृतमश्नुते अनादिमत्परं ब्रह्म न सदुच्यते.
न सत्तन्नासच्यते.
न सदुच्यते.
न सत्तन्ना.
न सदुच्यते.
No, न सत्तन्नासदुच्यते.
न सत्तन्ना.
Correct.
न सत्तन्ना सदुच्यते.
Correct. Yeah.
Is
Okay.
it okay, sir?
It's okay. Yeah.
अनादिमत्परं ब्रह्म न सत्तन्ना सदुच्यते.
More person, please.
Rajeshwari Shivashankar Bhagini.
ज्ञेयै यत्तत् प्रवक्ष्यामि यज्ञात्वामृतमश्नुते अनादिमत्परं ब्रह्म न सत्तन्नासदुच्यते.
Good. So, I think last class we only spent the entire time in discussing on the 20 values, and those 20 values which were the means for jnanam is also taken as jnanam. That's what we discussed. So in the beginning of this chapter, Arjuna had asked clarification on 6 different things. That is, he asked for Prakriti and Kshetram, which has got the same meaning. Okay. Prakriti and Kshetram is one bucket. Then Purusham, Kshetrajnan and Nyayam. That is second bucket. The last one is Jnanam. So Jnanam we have covered. We also covered Jnanam is those 20 different values which were means for understanding oneself is Jnanam. And then we also had discussed extensively in terms of Kshetram. He said Mahabhuta, Nahankara, the entire creation, everything we discussed is all Kshetram. Anything that is known to you is Kshetram. It can be a kind of a stula, which is manifest in the form of mountains or people, anything that is visibly is present is also a Kshetram. And something is also, in the case of mind, which is also known to you, is also known to a person, is also called Kshetram. So we also understood what is Kshetram. Now he's specifically talking about Nyayam. Nyayam is supposed to be what is to be known. Nyayam is also to be understood as Kshetrajnan. Nyayam also will be equated to that of Purusham. All those things will be equated. Now, what Bhagavan, so we have done that Kshetram and Prakriti we have covered. Then we also covered the other thing like Jnanam we have covered. So Nyayam. Nyayam yattad pravakshyami. Bhagavan says, now I'll tell you what is to be known. Okay. Now what is to be known? When you look at a small LKG child, ask her what is to be known. She has to know ABCD. She has to know identify apple. She has to identify book. She has to identify car. That is known. That is what is to be known for a small child. When a person goes to a school level, then he has to know mathematics. He has to know a lot of things. That is all known. To be known. Nyayam is to be known. So he has got to know all those things. Then when you come to a college, they'll do calculus, algebra, economics, all those things to be known. Because all these things that is to be known will help a person for progression. They progress to the next level of education. Next level of education will help him to move to higher level of education. Higher level of education will prepare him for a kind of a job. Job will help him in terms of progressing in terms of life, in terms of procuring security for him and his family. So anything that you are knowing is going to help you in terms of progression. Okay. Now Bhagavan says, I'll tell you what is to be known. Nyayam yat tadu pravakshyami. What is to be known, that I'll tell you. And then he says, yat jnatva, when you know that, in the case of other things, you will be able to grow. If I do my engineering, I'll be able to get a job. Knowing completing my subjects so and so, I'll know mechanical engineering, then I can get a job. But here, knowing this, yadu jnatva amrutam ashnute, you will be able to get eternity. So Bhagavan says that Nyayam means, when Bhagavan's things, the highest thing that needs to be known is the one which makes one to become eternal. Nyayam yattadu pravakshyami yadu jnatva, or knowing that you will be able to become eternal, amrutam ashnute. Okay. Now, what is that to be known then? Anadi. Anadi means beginningless. What is beginningless? It is supposed to be Brahman. Param. Param is limitless. Brahman is limitless. We have discussed about the glory of Bhagavan extensively as Anadi, Nirgunam, all pervasive. So Anadi Matparam. And if you look at that way, second chapter also we have done extensively in terms of understanding Atma, right? So Atma is also the one that is Anadi. That's what we understood. How did we understand that? Nainam chindanti shastrani, nainam dahati pavaha. So he said that it is not possible to be cut, it is not possible to be burnt, it is not possible to be dried. All those things we talked about the Atma's capable, Atma's Swarupa when we are doing the second chapter. Atma Swarupa and Brahman, we are trying to equate that from the chapter 13 onward. Asi is what we are talking about. So this is Anadi, that is beginningless. Anadimat, beginningless. Param, limitless. Brahman. So he says what is to be known at the end is Brahman. Okay. Nyayam yattat pravakshyami yajnatva amrutam ashnute. So knowing Brahman, one is going to become Amrutam. He is going to overcome the samsara of life and death. Okay. That Brahman, he says, na sat, na asat. Okay. This is a very paradoxical statement he has made. That Brahman, whatever we are going, you have to understand, knowing which you become eternal, that is na sat and na asat. So na sat, na asat uchyate. It is told as na sat, na asat. It is not existent nor not non-existent. That is the way it is told. It's a very paradoxical statement Bhagavan has made. Na sat, why did he say that it is non-existent? It is told as na sat, non-existent, because sat is existence. Okay. Anything that we can comprehend is existent. Okay. If I have to comprehend that this is a mouse, this is existing. There is the mouse is. When I say the mouse is, I know that the mouse is there. When I say that tree is existent, so I am able to know the tree is existing. But in this case, when he says Brahman, are we able to know the existence of Brahman? We are already struggling with that right from chapter 1 to understand that Brahman is existent. So we do not know the existence of Brahman. That is, we cannot concretely say this is Brahman. If supposing somebody is going to ask a Mahatma, show me Brahman, he cannot show it, right? Because it is not a kind of objectifiable phenomena which we can say that this is the one, this is called Brahman. He cannot show it. So na sat, that means he doesn't have existence. Na asat, if he does not have an existence, then people can also say that it does not exist. Brahman does not exist. That is also not possible. So they say neither it exists nor it does not exist. Why do you say it does not? You cannot say it is not existing. If you look at anything, the underlying principle of existence of anything in the world is Brahman. We have studied that very extensively in the 10th chapter and 11th chapter. Anything is existing because of an underlying principle called Brahman. Now, if you see anything in the, supposing I see something, if I look at an apple, okay, what is an apple? Apple is nothing but it is a nama given to you. Somebody has told this is apple. So right from the time the child is 3 months old, 1 year old, we show the picture of that and say apple, A for apple. So it just gets into the mind that this shape, this color is called apple. Otherwise, apple has got no relevance at all. We just say apple, apple, apple. The mind gets registered. Apple is registered in the mind of the child as a nama rupa. Okay, so the understanding of everything that we have got in the entire world is you got a name and rupa. You see one flower and say this is lotus, lotus, lotus flower, lotus flower. We just get absorbed into the mind that this form, this shape is a nama. This nama rupa is lotus. This nama rupa is a chair. This nama rupa is a chain. Like that, we have an understanding. But nama rupas per se has got no value. Okay. Supposing if I say, what is that you are wearing? I am wearing a chain. What is chain? Chain is nothing but nama rupa of gold. The substance of that nama rupa is only gold. Chain is only a kind of nama rupa. Chain has got no value, right? It is only the nama rupa. So a bangle, what are you wearing? I'm wearing a bangle. Bangle is nothing, a nama rupa given to that particular piece of thing that you're wearing. But it is nothing. Bangle is only a namam and rupam. Rupam is circular. Name given to is bangle. But what is the substance out of which it is made of? It is made of gold. So if you look at the entire world, you will ultimately understand whatever we understand as a world is nama rupam. We have to go underneath to understand what is the substance that is made of. Maybe I am taking slightly longer time than what is to be spent on this thing, but still I thought I'll spend more time. At the end of the class, I'll tell you how we can go further also so that we'll be able to do more shlokas. At the same time, we also try to understand many of these kinds of stuff. Okay. Now, when you look at the entire substance in the creation, there are some 100 and odd numbers of elements that has been identified, right? The entire creation can be identified into some periodic table. If somebody is very good at chemistry or somebody is teaching their children about chemistry and periodic table, they know that the entire world comes under these 112 or 114 periodic table material elements. Okay. They say that it is going to be starting with hydrogen, helium, argon, carbon, sodium, potassium, like that, then uranium, titanium. Oh, it goes on and on and on. They got only everything in the entire universe can be classified under these things only. Then what is that iron is made of? You further, but you do a study. Iron is made of Fe2O3. That is what we call it as. It has got iron is so much, oxygen is so much. Then when you further go into Fe, you try to identify that it has got electrons and protons. Then when you start looking at it, you will find the electrons are fundamentally same in all the items. All the elements in the world, electrons are same, protons are same, and neutrons are same. Every atom, the constituents of all the atoms are fundamentally the same. The same principle has got a different kind of manifestation. It becomes this kind of combination of electrons and protons and neutrons become iron. Other kind of combination of electrons and protons and this thing becomes hydrogen. Now they were further wanting to understand what is elementary particle. It is only atom or something else is elementary particle. They went down and then they found it to have some quartz and other kinds of things. Beyond that, they were not able to understand anything. And at that point of time, scientists gave up and they said that this is elementary thing by which the entire universe is made of is so particles, quark or something they say about it. And because of it, everything is made. So everything is made from one fundamental particle, and below that nothing. They were able to understand how that thing came into existence, which has been done in the last 500, 600 years. All the scientists world have come out to that. But our rishis, 5,000 years back said, there's only one fundamental element which is constituting as the basic principle of everything in the world. You understand? We all say that everything is made of atoms, fundamental particle. We have gone one level down. Below that, our scientist community could not go, but our rishis had the vision to tell thousands of years ago the fundamental principle because of which everything is existing is called Brahman. Okay. So now these people have gone up to atom and subatomic level. If they go down further, maybe they will ultimately go to Brahman only, because that is the fundamental particles. The same atom can become a plastics, the same atom can become water, the same atom, different constitution can become carbon, the same carbon in some other way becomes a diamond. So if you look at, I'm just trying to what do you call the, um, what do you call, I'm just trying to provoke your thought process. Everything is fundamentally the same, but it is only the nama, rupa, or combinations of the changes which makes the entire universe look the way it is. So the fundamental principle is Brahman. That Brahman cannot be seen. Even atom we could not see by your naked eyes. So the Brahman cannot be seen. Subatomic particles cannot be seen. So when something cannot be seen, somebody may question its existence. So some people say it does not exist. But we have to understand that everything exists only because of that. So, na sat, na asat, iti uchyate. So, anadi matparam, it is eternal, it is beginningless, it is all pervasive, and it is Brahman, neither sat nor asat. And how do you know the Brahman? Okay. Brahman, you cannot, if you know Brahman, supposing I say that I know Brahman, then what happens? Brahman is different and I am different. If it is known to me, then that is not me, correct? So we have to say that I do not, when you know Brahman, then you don't know Brahman. Then you are different than Brahman also. Because you know it. Brahman becomes a point, an object of knowing. So it is not possible to know Brahman. You have to only know that you are that Atma is Brahman. So we have to understand that Atma is Brahman. The same Atma is that is there in ourselves is the Brahman that is there everywhere else. So when you really want to know Brahman, you have to understand Atma. Knowing your Atma, you know everything else. Because everything is only the manifestation, Nama, Rupa of the same stuff, underlying stuff as Brahman. So that is the reason why he says Anadi Matparam Brahma na sat na asat uchyate. Okay. It's slightly more complicated, but when he's telling you, you'll be able to understand that. But you may have to think about it slightly longer to understand the real meaning of that. Right? Okay. Next.
Krishna Pavani Bhagini.
Sarvatah panipatam tat.
सर्वतः पाणिपादं तत् सर्वतः पाणिपादं तत्
सर्वतोक्षिशिरोर्मुखम्
सर्वतोक्षिशिरोमुखम् सर्वतोक्षिशिरोमुखम्
सर्वतः पाणिपातं तत् सर्वदोक्षिशिरोमुखम्
सर्वतः पाणिपादं तत् सर्वतोक्षिशिरोमुखम् सर्वतः पाणिपादं तत् सर्वतोक्षिशिरोमुखम्.
Next.
Rajalakshmi Bhagini.
सर्वतः श्रुतिमल्लोके
सर्वतः श्रुतिमल्लोके सर्वतः श्रुतिमल्लोके
सर्वमावृत्य तिष्ठति
सर्वमावृत्य तिष्ठति सर्वमावृत्य तिष्ठति
सर्वतः श्रुतिमल्लोके सर्वमावृत्य तिष्ठति
सर्वतः श्रुतिमल्लोके सर्वमावृत्य तिष्ठति सर्वतः श्रुतिमल्लोके सर्वमावृत्य तिष्ठति.
Next.
Sharat Chavan Mahodaya.
सर्वतः पाणिपातं तत् सर्वतोक्षिशिरोमुखम्
सर्वतः पानिपादं तत् सर्वतोक्षिशिरोमुखम् सर्वतः पानिपादं तत् सर्वतोक्षिशिरोमुखम्.
Next.
Lakshmi Bibi Bhagini.
सर्वतः श्रुतिमल्लोके सर्वमावृत्य तिष्ठति
सर्वतः श्रुतिमल्लोके सर्वमावृत्य तिष्ठति सर्वतः श्रुतिमल्लोके सर्वमावृत्य तिष्ठति.
Good. Next.
शीला शिंदे भगिनी.
सर्वतः पाणिपातं तत् सर्वतोक्षिशिरोमुखं सर्वतः श्रुतिमल्लोके सर्वमावृत्य तिष्ठति.
सर्वतः पाणिपादं तत् सर्वतोक्षिशिरोमुखम् सर्वतः श्रुतिमल्लोके सर्वमावृत्य तिष्ठति.
Good. Next.
गुरुमूर्ति महोदय.
Full shloka once.
सर्वदा पाणिपादं तत् सर्वदोषिशिरोमुखं सर्वदा श्रुतिमल्लोके सर्वमावृत्य तिष्ठति.
Good. Next.
भानुरेखा भगिनी.
सर्वतः पाणिपादं तत् सर्वतोक्षिशिरोमुखं सर्वतः श्रुतिमल्लोके सर्वमावृत्य तिष्ठति.
Good. Next.
विजयलक्ष्मी भगिनी.
सर्वदा पाणिपातं तत् सर्वदोक्षिशिरोमुखं सर्वदक्षुतिमल्लोके सर्वमावृत्य तिष्ठति.
Good. Next.
काश्मीरा भगिनी.
Yes.
Yeah.
सर्वतः पाणिपादं तत् सर्वतोक्षिशिरोमुखम् सर्वतः श्रुतिमल्लोके सर्वमावृत्य तिष्ठति.
Good. Next.
अनुपमा भट्ट भगिनी.
सर्वतः पाणिपादं तत् सर्वतोक्षिशिरोमुखं सर्वतः श्रुतिमल्लोके सर्वमावृत्य तिष्ठति.
Good. Next.
मृणालिनी गोपालन भगिनी.
सर्वतः पाणिपादं तत् सर्वतोक्षिशिरोमुखं सर्वतः श्रुतिमल्लोके सर्वमावृत्य तिष्ठति.
One more person.
ललिता भगिनी.
सर्वतः पाणिपादं तत् सर्वतोक्षिशिरोमुखं सर्वतः श्रुतिमल्लोके सर्वमावृत्य तिष्ठति.
Good. So all of you know that pani is hand, right? Swaranga pani, Kodanda pani. Like so, pani means hand. Padam means foot. So sarvataha pani padam. Then sarvataha akshi. Akshi means eye. Sarvataha akshi. Shiro is head. Mukam is face. So sarvataha pani padam. Hands and foot. Sarvataha akshi. Sarvataha shiro. Sarvataha mukam. Sarvataha shrutimati. Shrutimati is ears. Okay. Loke sarvam avrutya tishtati. Now, the earlier sloka is that some people say that sat is, it may be existent or may not be existent. Na sat, na asat idi uchyate. That is the way people are understanding Brahman. So here Bhagavan is telling that it is not na asat. He says that it is not a non-existent thing. Why? Because everything that you have in the world, I think we spoke in the earlier sloka also, is all existent because of the underlying principle of Brahman only. Because of that, it is there with everywhere it has got legs, everywhere it has got hands, everywhere it has got eyes, head, mukam, that is face, shruti, ears, loke, in the world. Sarvam avrutya, it has been able to pervade everything on tishtati. This Brahman is the underlying principle because of which everything in the world is pervaded, and because of that only we are able to have the capability of cognition in this world. For example, Atma is also Brahman. Atma is sitting inside us, and not inside us. Atma is the one that is able to, the consciousness is able to interact with the mind and then able to sense the everything. So the consciousness which is present in each one of us at the just excuse me. Sorry. So, in the presence of consciousness, we are able to see. The presence of consciousness and the mind, which are going to, through the mind, the eyes are able to see, the ears are able to hear, we are able to speak. So, if you look at that way, because of the consciousness, this Tukshma Sarira is activated, and we are able to be having all these kinds of faculties in us. Like the way they are, the consciousness principle is only the Atma. See, so what Bhagavan is telling here that the Brahman or the Atma is the one which is making every one of these things sentient, and then is able to be having a kind of a cognitive capability, and it is there everywhere. Sarvataha Panipadam. You may have to think about this Shloka much more. If you look at that way, the consciousness within which, the consciousness that we have in us is the one which is able to make us to have all these faculties that we have in us. Okay. Now I'll just take a small this thing. What is we are already discussed about this. We know that when you are in a waking state, we have an interaction with our body and mind. We have an interaction with the entire world. Okay. So we are having body consciousness is there. Our mind is also fully alert, okay, in the waking state, and we are able to have external world communication, external world interactions are there going on. When you go to sleep, what happens? Body, before going to sleep, when you are going to sleep, but we're having a dream. When you are having a dream, the body consciousness is not there. You've got only mind has got some amount of consciousness. And in the dream, you are absolutely not aware of your body, and you are able to have lot of things that is coming into the mind. That is, you feel as though you are on a trek to Kedarnath with your friends, or you are on a kind of ship from Seattle to Alaska on a cruise. You have got different kinds of things that comes in your dream. Your body is not there in your dream. You are having a fictitious body, but you are not conscious of your body. All these things happen. Okay, but then still you are able to have a witness to all those things. When you go to a deep sleep, you are not aware of your body. You are not aware of your mind also. Okay, the body is not there, mind is not there. When the body is not there and the mind is not there, you do not know the time. When the body is not there, the mind is not there, you don't know time. You don't know the place where you are. You have nothing in the world, but you are existing. You are existing. Without the body, you are existing. Because body is not there in the deep sleep, you are existing. Without the mind, you are existing. So that existence consciousness is the Atma. And that existence consciousness does not have anything to interact with. So you know that I had a good sleep. You can only say I had a good sleep. Who is the person who is telling that I had a good sleep? Is it the body telling that? Or is the mind telling that? How does mind know? Mind was not there. When you say I had a good sleep, there was somebody who was witnessing that you had a good sleep, and that is the true essence of oneself. So this is what I am trying to say is I'm just trying to tickle your mind. You may have to think and you may have to find out who is the one who is telling I had a good sleep. Who is the one who is telling that I had a good gulab jamun? Gulab jamun is it's a tongue telling that I had a good gulab jamun, body telling that, or the mind telling that. Who is the one who is telling that I had a good gulab jamun? You have to identify that, and that is the kind of Atma Vichara, and that is what who am I? There are a lot of books. Ramana Maharshi has also come out with a beautiful book, Who Am I? So we have to understand that I principle, Atma Tattva. Knowing that I principle, you will be able to know the entire Brahman also. So that is a very, very long exercise. It's not going to happen overnight. But you need to be conscious that I am not the body. I am not the mind. When the body was not there, the mind was not there, the time was not there, when the place was not there, still I was existent. Who is that person who was existent in that deep sleep also, conscious about all these things that the body was sleeping and telling that the next day morning I had a wonderful sleep. I had dreamless, wonderful. He also knows I had a dreamless, wonderful sleep. Who is that person who is telling that? Try to identify. That is the Sakshatkara. So the entire body, if you look at the Atma, because of the consciousness, you are able to hear, you are able to see, you are able to speak, you are able to be having a cognition of the entire world. Similarly, now from the Atma, you think of Paramatma and look at the Vishwarupa Darshanam that we had discussed in the 11th chapter. What was that? Bhagavan was having Sarvata Pani. Wherever you see, you are having his hand. Wherever you had, you had got his leg. Wherever you saw, you had his mukha, Akshi. You are seeing everywhere. We studied all those things. So he's just bringing that kind of a concept that Brahman is the one that is the underlying principle because of which the entire existence is there and because of which you are also existing. And so you cannot say that it is na sat. You cannot simply say that it does not exist. It is existing. Only thing you are not able to understand the principle because the principle it is not an object of knowing. You need to know it yourself. So sarvata pani padam tadi sarvataha akshi shiraha mukam sarvataha shrutimalla loke sarvam avrutya. It pervades everything and then it remains. Okay. That's slightly a deep subject. But I'm sure that I would have given you some amount of understanding of this because it requires a lot more of Atma Vichara in terms of understanding that our own true self is Brahman. Because we cannot start looking for a Brahman outside and say, oh, that is Brahman. Then you are the knower and that becomes the known. When that is a known, then you are different than the known. Then you have to understand who are you. That understanding who are you becomes the most important thing in terms of Atma Vidya and Brahma Vidya. That's the reason why we say in the case of Bhagavad Gita also, we also say, no, Brahma Vidyayam. We say Brahma Vidyayam means Atma Vidya will lead you to Brahma Vidya also. Okay. Next.
Rajeshwari Shankar Bhagini.
Sarvendriya Gunabhasam.
Sarvendriya Gunabhasam. Sarvendriya Gunabhasam.
Sarvendriya Vivarjitam.
Sarvendriya Vivarjitam. Sarvendriya Vivarjitam.
Sarvendriya Gunabhasam. Sarvendriya Vivarjitam.
Sarvendriya Gunabhasam. Sarvendriya Vivarjitam. Sarvendriya Gunabhasam. Sarvendriya Vivarjitam.
Asaktam. Sorry, next person, please.
Sai Lakshmi Bhagini.
Asaktam sarva bhruchaiva.
Asaktam sarva bhruchaiva. Asaktam sarva bhruchaiva.
Nirgunam guna bhokrucha.
Nirgunam guna bhokrucha. Nirgunam guna bhokrucha.
Asaktam sarva bhruchaiva. Nirgunam guna bhokrucha.
Asaktam sarva bhruchaiva. Nirgunam guna bhokrucha. Asaktam sarva bhruchaiva. Nirgunam guna bhokrucha.
Good. Next.
Usha Srinivasan Bhagini.
Sarvendriya gunabhasam. Sarvendriya vivarjitam.
Sarvendriya gunabhasam. Sarvendriya vivarjitam. Sarvendriya gunabhasam. Sarvendriya vivarjitam.
Gurumurti Mahodaya.
Asaktam sarva bhruchaiva. Nirgunam guna bhoktrucha.
Asaktam sarva bhruchaiva. Nirgunam guna bhokrucha. Asaktam sarva bhruchaiva. Gunam guna bhoktrucha.
Good. Next.
Lalita Bhagini.
सर्वेन्द्रियगुणाभासं सर्वेन्द्रियविवर्जितं
सर्वेन्द्रियगुणाभासं सर्वेन्द्रियविवर्जितं सर्वेन्द्रियगुणाभासं सर्वेन्द्रियविवर्जितं.
Good. Next.
भानुरेखा भगिनी.
असक्तं सर्वभृच्छैव निर्गुणं गुणभोक्तृ च
असक्तं सर्वभृच्चैव निर्गुणं गुणभोक्तृ च असक्तं सर्वभृच्चैव निर्गुणं गुणभोक्तृ च.
Next.
काश्मीरा भगिनी.
सर्वेन्द्रियगुणाभासं सर्वेन्द्रियविवर्जितम् असक्तं सर्वभृच्छैव निर्गुणं गुणभोक्तृ च
सर्वेन्द्रियगुणाभासं सर्वेन्द्रियविवर्जितम् असक्तं सर्वभृच्चैव निर्गुणं गुणभोक्तृ च.
Good. Next.
राजलक्ष्मी भगिनी.
Full shloka.
राजलक्ष्मी भगिनी.
सर्वेन्द्रियगुणाभासं सर्वेन्द्रियविवर्जितम् असक्तं सर्वभृच्छैव निर्गुणं गुणभोक्तृ च. सर्वे
Only once. Yeah.
शीला शिंदे भगिनी.
सर्वेन्द्रियगुणाभासं सर्वेन्द्रियविवर्जितम् असक्तं सर्वभृश्चैव निर्गुणं गुणभोक्तृ च.
Good. Next.
विजयलक्ष्मी भगिनी.
सर्वेन्द्रियगुणाभासं सर्वेन्द्रियविवर्जितम् असक्तं सर्वभृच्छैव निर्गुणं गुणभोक्तृ च.
Good. Next.
अनुपमा भट्ट भगिनी.
सर्वेन्द्रियगुणाभासं सर्वेन्द्रियविवर्जितम् असक्तं सर्वभृच्चैव निर्गुणं गुणभोक्तृ च.
Good. Next.
मृणालिनी गोपालन् भगिनी. मृणालिनी गोपालन् भगिनी.
सारी सर्वेन्द्रियगुणाभासं सर्वेन्द्रियविवर्जितम् असक्तं सर्वभृच्छैव निर्गुणं गुणभोक्तृ च.
One more person.
लक्ष्मी देवी भगिनी.
सर्वेन्द्रियगुणाभासं सर्वेन्द्रियविवर्जितम् असक्तं सर्वभृच्छैव निर्गुणं गुणभोक्तृ च.
Okay, good. So here, Sarvendriya Gunabhasam. Sarvendriya means you have got 5 Karmendriyas and 5 Jnanendriyas. Okay. Now, the Karmendriyas and Jnanendriyas that we have, they have got their own attributes. Like, for example, a nose can smell, tongue can taste, ears can hear. So we know that each one of them have got their own characteristics. Okay. So these characteristics of cognition of the external world is possible with each one of these senses that we have. And each one of the karmendriyas, we are able to do the actions also. We are able to walk, we are able to talk, all those things are karmendriyas. We can do all those things also. Karmendriyas are able to function, jnanendriyas are able to function. Okay. Now, karmendriyas and jnanendriyas, all of us know when the dead body is there, the karmendriyas and jnanendriyas are not functioning. They are not able to sense anything. They will not know the taste. They will not know what is happening. Nothing will go into the ears because it is now not able to have any capability of sensing, nor it is also capable of getting up and then making a walk and going out and say, let me go for a walk and come. It's not possible. It's just dead and gone. But the body is there. So when that time the mind is also not there. Nothing is there. The Sthula Sarira is lying down. Sukshma Sarira is gone. So when you look at it from the perspective, when it was alive, it was able to do all those functions. Guna, it was able to enjoy the various kinds of sensing and then enjoy those kinds of things. How was it possible? Of course, mind was able to understand and then he was able to comprehend. Mind was there in that. Then mind was able to function and then have this information processed and understand the taste and smell and sense of various kinds of things is because of the presence of what is called consciousness. So the consciousness with the help of the mind and the senses were able to have a capability of sensing the entire thing in the particular body. So it appears the consciousness, the Atma, it seems to be that it is the person, it is capable of smelling, capable of tasting, capable of hearing, etc. So, Sarvendriya Gunabhasam, it appears as to all these attributes that you have belongs to the Atma. Atma is the one that is sensing all these things. No, it is all because in the presence of Atma, it reflected consciousness is there in the mind. These senses are active and they were able to have various cognitive capabilities. Okay. So it is not that Atma itself has got the capabilities, not capabilities, Atma itself was having the attributes. But it appears as though Atma is the one that is having these attributes. Sarvendriya Gunabhasam. It appears as though the Atma is having these kinds of capabilities. For example, you have a beautiful crystal. Okay, when you have a crystal, the crystal is there. Then, when you bring a kind of a blue colored stone next to it, the crystal will reflect. Okay, it will show that blue color in itself. Correct? You might have seen that. Even some of the diamond studs, etc., also they find different reflections come depending upon the kinds of colors that is there outside. So it is personally, it is absolutely clear and absolutely transparent crystal, but it takes the guna of something which is brought nearby. Similarly, Atma absolutely does not have any attributes. In the presence of these kinds of capable sensing mind and the things, it appears as though the Atma is sensing. Actually speaking, Sarvendriya Vivarjitam, it is absolutely free of all these kinds of uh, tastes and all those kinds of things because Atma is insulated. It is absolutely no guna for Atma. It does not have any Atma. So it appears as though it is the one that is this, having these kinds of cognitive thing, but Atma as such is vivarjidam, free of that. Asaktam, unattached. It is not going to say, I want to have gulab jamun. Atma is not going to say that. It is going to be your tongue that is going to say that, I want gulab jamun. So asaktam, absolutely unattached. Sarva Bhrutu Chaiva. Sarva Bhrit is sustainer of everything. If you look at Bhagavan also, we say he is a Sarva Bhrit. Sarva Bhrit is sustainer of the entire existence. Okay. In this particular body, it is sustained because of the Atma. So Sarva Bhrit, we can say a sustainer of everything. Even in the body, it is sustained only by the Atma, Sarva Bhrit. Nirgunam, absolutely free of gunas. There is no guna for that. Guna Bhoktrucha, it may as though appear as though it is the experiencer of guna, but actually it is not the experiencer of guna. So it is Nirgunam. So Nirgunam, Guna Bhoktrucha, it looks as though it is an experiencer of guna. Similarly, it looks as though it is sensing all those kinds of things, but in effect is absolutely free. Sarvendriya Gunabhasam, Sarvendriya Vivarjidam, Asaktam, Sarvabhriti, Chaiva, Nirgunam, Guna Bhoktrucha. So he is now trying to talk about the concept of Atma, which is absolutely free from attachment, which is absolutely free of these kinds of sensing, etc. But it is in the presence of that, everything happens. Like in the presence of sun, everything happens. The trees grow, the chlorophylls are produced by the plants, all those kinds of things happen in the presence of sun. But it is not the quality of sun. In the presence of sun, everything happens. In the presence of Atma, everything happens. Sun is not attached to anything in the earth. Sun is absolutely independent of earth, but the entire earth is sustained by the sun. Sun is supporting, sustaining the earth. And it is unconnected with the earth. Right? Connected means it does not have any kind of attachment towards the earth, but it sustains the earth. Everything happens here. But sun may be reflected in the dirty water also. It is not the sun. It is the water. So it is absolutely unattached. Similarly, it looks as though these things are the Indriyas are able to enjoy and Indriyas are able to be active because of the Atma. It's not the attribute of Atma. Atma is independent of all these kinds of things. Okay. Next.
Gurumurti Mahodaya.
Bahirantascha bhutanam.
Bahirandascha bhutana. Bahirandascha bhutana.
Acharancharameva cha.
Charancharameva cha. Charancharameva cha.
Acharancharameva cha.
Acharancharam.
Correct. Yeah. Bahirantascha bhutanam. Acharancharameva cha.
Bahirandascha bhutana. Acharancharameva cha. Bahirandascha bhutana. Charancharameva cha.
Good. Next.
Krishna Pavani Bhagini.
Sukshmatvat tadavijñeyam.
Sukshmatvat tadavijñeyam. Sukshmatvat tadavijñeyam.
Durastan chantike cha tat.
Durasthan chantike cha tat. Durasthan chantike cha tat.
Sukshmatvat tadavijñeyam. Durastan chantike cha tat.
Sukshmatvat tadavijñeyam. Durasthan chantike cha tat. Sukshmatvat tadavijñeyam. Durasthan chantike cha tat.
Good. Next.
Usha Srinivasan Bhagini.
Bahirantascha bhutanam. Acharancharameva cha.
Bahirantascha bhutanam acharancharameva cha. Bahirantascha bhutanam acharancharameva cha.
Next.
Rajalakshmi Bhagini.
Sukshmatvat tadavijñeyam. Durastan chantike cha tat.
Sukshmatvat tadavijñeyam. Durastan chantike cha tat. Sukshmatvat tadavijñeyam. Durastan chantike cha tat.
Good. Next.
Sai Lakshmi Bhagini.
Full shloka.
Bahirantascha bhutanam acharancharameva cha sukshmatvat tadavijñeyam durasthan chantike cha tat.
Good. Next.
Mrinalini Gopalan Bhagini.
Bahirantascha bhutanam acharancharameva cha sukshmatvarat vijñeyam durasthan chantike cha tat.
Sukshmatvat tadavijñeyam.
Sukshmatvat vijñeyam durasthan chantike cha tat.
Next.
Rajeshwari Shivshankar Bhagini.
Bahirantascha bhutanam acharancharameva cha sukshmatvat tadavijñeyam durasthan chantike tad.
Bahi, not Bahi. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Next, one more person.
Sharat Chavan Mahodaya.
Yes, sir. Full shloka.
Yeah.
Bahirantascha bhutanam acharam parameva cha sukshmamatva tat vidneyam दूरस्थं च चान्तिके च ततः.
Some more corrections required. Maybe just listen to the other chanting. One more person
Yeah,
can slowly.
I'll say one
Rekha
more.
Bhagini.
No,
Shall
no,
I say one more?
there are a lot of mistakes. I think you may have to listen to it now.
Okay.
You listen to it carefully. Listen to it, and then you'll be able to. Yeah. Next.
बहिरन्तश्च भूतानाम् आचरञ्चरमेव च सूक्ष्मत्वात्तदविज्ञेयम् दूरस्थञ्चान्तिके च तत्
Person.
Vijayalakshmi Bhagini.
बहिरन्तच्च भूतानाम् अचरञ्चरमेव च सूक्ष्मत्वात् विज्ञेयम् दूरस्थाञ्चान्तिके च तत्
Durasthan, no, Durastham.
दूरस्थञ्चान्तिके च तत्.
Now, if you look at this, we are now in the process of trying to understand what is to be known. What is to be known is what? What is to be known is Atma as well as Brahman, and knowing that Brahman and Atma are same. Okay. Now, if you look at that, in this sloka says, Bahihi Antascha Bhutanam. Whether it's going to be outside or inside Bhutanam, for all the entire living beings, is only the consciousness. Bahihi Antaha Bhutanam. So that it is all pervasive. So it says that it is outside as well as inside of all the living beings. Acharam charam evacha. Acharam means non-moving, and charam evacha. Even those things, the underlying principle is only the Brahman. Acharam means anything that does not move on its own is called acharam. Like a tree. Tree has to be uprooted. It cannot move. It can grow. It cannot move from place to place. The mountain cannot move from place to place. Even rivers are taken to be a one that cannot move from place to place on its own. A mosquito is charam. It can just fly from one place to another place, a small one. But river, on its own, it cannot this thing. There's a gravity because of which it is going. Whereas on its own, human being can walk, animals can walk, mosquito can fly, so birds can fly. So they are all charam. Acharam means those things that are just going to be still. So acharam, charam, all these things, the underlying principle is the same Brahman, sukshmatvat. Because it is subtle, sukshmatvat means because it is subtle, avijneyam, it is not possible to, it is not something that can be perceived by us. It is perceivable neither for perception nor even for conception, become extremely difficult. So sukshmatvad, avijneyam, it is not possible to be known. Durastham, it might be at a far away place. Cha antike, antike cha, it is also next closest to you. So it because it's pervasive everywhere. Even the farthest place also is Brahman. Within me also it is Brahman. So durastham cha antike cha. Tat, the same thing. So bahirantascha bhutanam acharancharameva cha sukshmatva tada vigyeyam durasthan chantike cha tat. I thought of taking one more sloka, but I think we are running short of time. So we'll continue tomorrow. So I'll chant these four slokas and we'll close for the day. Yeyai yattat pravakshyami yajñātvāmrutamashnuте anādimat param brahma nasattannāsaduchyate sarvatah pānipadam tat sarvatokshishiro mukham sarvatah shrutimaloke sarvamavrutya tishtati sarvendriya gunabhasam sarvendriya vivarjitam asaktam sarva bruchaiva nirgunam guna bhoktrucha bahirantascha bhutanam acharancharameva cha sukshmatvat tada vigyeyam durastan chantike cha tat. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namah.